Yo, what is up, everybody? A super special show here. It is your favorite sports betting podcast, Jump the Sharp. Episode number 90, believe it or not. Getting close to that centennial piece, but oh boy, are we excited. We're back. We're back in our comfort zone. Oh, it's time to make the actual big-time cashish. I don't know why I use the word actual. You're making a big-time cashish, but now it's like, this is where we thrive. At least we feel we have. I mean, proof's in the pudding. And by we, I do mean myself, Brian Hollywood Hagan, but also the Woodman, David Woody. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? NFL Week 1, a very, very exciting time here on Jump the Sharp, and our third NFL season. Each of the first two over 60%, so
Unreal.
Hoping to hit again.
Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, man.
Oh, good for you.
Keep it rolling, baby.
It's good for our European carryalls as well. Let's keep filling them. Maybe need one on each shoulder going into the Super Bowl 2023. But at Jump the Sharp on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube right now. We're trying to get to that. We'll give you a nice, beautiful youtube.com/Jump the Sharp, but we need your help. Subscribe, please, on YouTube. It's free. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account. Just go to this bitch, search Jump the Sharp, and go ahead and subscribe on that YouTube page. We'd appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube as well and you're like, oh, I wish I could listen to these guys on the pods. Well, you can. You can listen on the pod. We are a podcast. This is our 90th episode, only our 4th, I think, on YouTube right now. But just search anywhere you listen to pods, right? You know what I forgot to do? Look at this amateur hour. Oh, I look even better. I forgot to turn that light on. It's been a long day, a long week. But we're going to go ahead and just make some dough. We teased an announcement last week. We are going to have an announcement eventually. We're just going to have to postpone that for one more show at least. It's not necessarily not happening, but we'll get to it. It's going to be a doozy when we get to it. At Jump the Sharp, follow on Twitter because we will, as soon as we get the Giddy up, we will go ahead and announce it on there as well. So if you do not follow us on Twitter, please do so.
If the thing that Brian has teased actually occurs, you will know about it from Twitter.
Absolutely. Or, definitely the next show. But if you want it immediate, as we're Americans, we want immediate satisfaction.
It would be this Sunday morning if it's going to happen. Just FYI.
If it's going to happen. Yeah. Before football, wink, wink. Speaking of immediate satisfaction, I'm going to wet my whistle a little bit before we get into NFL Week 1. Oh, it's like doing the show sheet for this. Oh, it was so beautiful. Yeah. Don't be showing your DWE. Don't be giving everybody the.
You can't see it.
Probably. You sent me the text, by the way, with that. I was like, nope, not even going to look at it. Don't want any intel.
I knew you wouldn't read them. I just want you to get excited for all the.
Yeah, man. So we'll talk about that soon. But cheers to NFL Kickoff. And
yes, sir.
It's time to wet the whistle with America's favorite fucking segment. It is. What exactly are we drinking? It's not really what exactly are we drinking. What are we drinking, Woodman?
A little bit of the bubbly.
This is the same one that I had at your house for the draft, and it's from Flying Fish. People know Flying Fish if you're from this general area. Yeah. They're pretty big. I guess they're Jersey, right?
Let's check on that. That's
pretty sure.
Here.
I think that's Jersey.
Oh, good for you.
Where does it say? You look that up. In the meantime, Flying Fish.
Somerdale, New Jersey. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. And this is the Go Birds.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
I had to have this, for the first Sunday. It's a hazy pale ale, not an IPA.
All right. Good for
hazy.
you.
It has some haze, but it's not real hoppy at all. More pale, and it's 6%, so that's a nice sweet spot. I feel I love 6% beers. It's got a little more giddy up in its than the Coors Light, but it's not trying to kill you, and you could have 6%. I could have quite a few of these on an NFL Sunday
or on a podcast. Let's go. Oh, baby, hit that right on a sweet spot. A little pour here. See, this is why you need the YouTube. You get to see the. Yeah. Get to see the shrapnel all over his chin. Here comes the Porski. Huh? Yeah, nice little glass. Wow. Woodman not giving himself. There's a little cat ski in there. What's your cat's name again?
Tybalt.
Well,
yeah.
This might be some tumult if we don't win some money this week. That's.
It's very, very good. I'm going to say that whatever this gets on Untapped is too low. This is the exact kind of beer you want to have for football. Like very, very drinkable. You could put down a bunch of these, but it still has a wonderful flavor and absolutely no bitterness at all because there's no really hops. Just
It's funny. It is a
drinkable-
3.72, so it's a
Yeah.
little low on the
Yeah.
John there.
I called it. I would give it higher than what people. I think people are expecting. They read hazy and they assume hazy IPA. This is not an IPA. There's no bitter hops. This is just straight drinkable, delicious beer that has a little bit of a hazy color to it.
You know what isn't a hazy IPA? What I'm drinking, literally a hazy IPA.
What do you got? bud?
Shout out to our boy. Oh shit. Oh man, we didn't do a fade marinara this week, but a shout out to our boy Muscles Marinara.
Yeah.
It is NFL week 1. We might we'll ask him next week.
We can get one and put it on Twitter, maybe.
Probably. But this one is from the now is it I don't think speaking of the birds here, this is from the Bald Birds Brewing Company. The Jersey Shore, is there really a Jersey Shore, PA? I can't think that there's an actual town called Jersey Shore, PA, but it's probably just saying the two spots that it's, maybe they have double, I don't know. But technically on Untapped, they're called the Nui, Neue, Nui? I don't know. Methode Fermentation Project. Is that actually the name of the place? By Bald Birds Brewing, that would probably be the name of it. Anyway, 6.8 on the Richter scale. You don't even know what I'm saying. I barely do. It's called In the Shrine. That's what we look like. Got a little bit of it's funky. It looks like an entrance to a old Egyptian tomb that's oozing, I don't know, blood and volcano magma. But nevertheless,
It does.
oh, a little bit of a slow open there. By the way, NFL week 1 got a rep. Go Birds on the glass. Little pour here. We'll see how this, but this guy's looking like right up my alley. Checks on the color big time.
Yes.
I might have to get it before it breaks the rim. But Giddy up to this. See what we got here.
Yeah, that's right up your alley. I bet it's good.
Oh, wow. Whoa. I'm going to do my Woody impersonation because you like to have it, let it hit the palate, soak a bit, and you always start with all right. Like you agreed on everything you just thought, and you're going to say it out loud. So I'm going to go, all right. So it's like a little bit of an effervescent, kind of like a what's the word? What's the one? I don't know. It's aromatic for sure.
Ooh.
But it goes down so easy. It's almost like, let me try this one more time. Yeah, see, I'm putting it at like a citrusy. If Hoegaarden had a lot more of a kick to it,
Okay.
and a lot more of a flavor to it, that's where I'm at on this.
Okay.
Which is good. It's actually got a 4.11 on tap. I would put it at a 4 even. Dig it. Didn't knock the socks off, but is certainly delectable. I'll put it at that. So shout out. Normally in the spot where it should say Bald Birds Brewing Company. We both have some type of birds going here. I wonder why. Let's go birds. But no, it does say Nui Methode Fermentation Project. Let me click on it. See what the hell that even means. Is that an actual?
I mean, it just sounds like it's a funky spelling of new method.
Yes, exactly. But then it says in the United States, and it calls it a nano brewery. So it's like saying that this is I don't know. I'm not even going to go. It's hurting my head.
Nano brewery, that makes it sound like it's just one guy in his garage.
Well, this dude did a pretty damn good job,
Yeah.
Maybe he's just getting Hoegaarden and adding like Bud Light seltzer to it.
Maybe.
No. Maybe. Well, Woody,
I know.
how fun was
man.
this? How fun was this to write for this week? I've missed so much going through our rundown.
Yeah.
And dude, I just poured in the ass of it, and it just, did I not shake this or something? It totally thickened the whole John.
Huh.
I'm wondering if I should have James Bonded this before, but nevertheless, let me see if it tastes different. A little bit. Yeah, it's more of like a wrench style after that. Giddy up. But nevertheless,
Wow.
How fun was this to write the format?
It was very fun, and it was very exciting. And I will tell you what, although I will say, unfortunately, I will have to admit to the audience, I was more stoked about this show like 3 hours ago, because when I sat down and did it, I'll straight up tell you guys right off the bat, I nailed so many of these lines.
Let's go, baby.
I was within a half point on a lot of them. Now, for you, that's not saying anything. You always are.
Yeah.
That's
For the
totally
most part.
normal, par for the course for you. You know that I'm usually not. And because I don't consider myself a handicapper. I'm not the kind of bettor that you are. I don't have your experience,
It's all good, but this will make it even more interesting for me and the audience because now I'm really like pumped to see, have you fallen into that? You might be the handicapper you don't think you are now after the
Well,
last 2 years.
It may be the case, or maybe it's just that week 1, we're all working off such limited information. We just
Sure.
haven't seen them out there.
Yep.
And the preseason doesn't count because they don't play the players and they do all vanilla everything and nobody's even trying really, right?
Yep.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
I'm excited. I'm big time excited. And
I do have 3 solid picks for everyone, and I want to I have like a disclaimer off the top, but I'll let you you do the introductions if you
okay.
want.
Is the disclaimer?
Give it to me hard.
Because I will if you want me to, So, I mean, we've earned it. No, but I think, no introduction. It is NFL Week 1. The 2022 NFL season is officially here. Games now. Not just talking about futures. I hope everybody enjoyed those shows. And anybody who's listened to the show for the first time, thank you so very much for watching or listening. I hope you enjoy what you hear and see. And if so, please do us a favor and shout it out to somebody you know and love. But we have killed it on the NFL. And I've always been the type of person that wants the ball, down 1 with the man on second, third, 2 outs. I want that final shot down 2 with 3 seconds left. So I don't know how you feel here, but like after 2 seasons of killing it, little bit of pressure, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
We thrive with that.
Yeah, we do. And I think we can rise to that occasion.
We've never, on our shittiest shows, which I said, I think you can count on one hand how many times we've lost money out of 89 prior shows. But on those shows, they've never been back-to-back, Johns.
Never.
We always bounce back when we feel the heat. And I'm not necessarily feeling the heat. I'm feeling the excitement. And with that said, it is time.
Let's get down to business.
To get down to business, it is NFL Week 1, 2022 season. 3 picks coming at you. For those, once again, new, we do 3 each every week. And then, boy, do we have the fun, chunky parts of the show.
Yeah.
The Paydirt Prop, the guy we pick every week that we think is going to get into that end zone. Typically, we like to make you money, a nice chunk on that. So, we could have easily taken a low road on that many, many, many times and helped our overall numbers. No, we like a little bang for the buck, and we'll see if we both go that way on this particular episode. Then we got the world-famous Easy Teasey, brought to you by Hollywood. Man, that thing over time, just a fucking
thing's made
cash
so much
cow.
money. Yeah.
And then we always end the show with something fun, what we call the Hail Mary Parlay, something a little out of the box that, typically 4 or 5 figures on the plus side.
Yep.
And we have hit way more than we thought we ever would. So maybe we can get out of the gate with a Hail Mary full of grace. The Lord be with the Woodman and Hollywood. But nevertheless, speaking of getting out of the gate, it is the Woodman, always batting first, playing center field with his first pick of not the show, of the NFL season.
I'm very excited.
Let's see what you got, buddy.
I love my first pick. However, before I do, I just want to say, so do we need to explain what the DWE is?
If you would like to, I know we just did a couple episodes ago, but this is different. We're actually starting the season. So the DWE, if you want to go ahead and give a little bit of a roundabout, let's.
Yeah. So I sat down and I wrote down all the names, all the games that are happening. And I didn't look. You can. This is what I wrote first, right? This column, all the games, okay. And I didn't look at what the spreads are at all. I made sure I hadn't seen them. You actually kind of nowadays you almost have to avoid them. They're like everywhere. Like ESPN has them. You know what I mean?
You want to
like
look at that again?
Like on the crawl on the bottom of the screen. Sometimes you can even see. So you got to avoid them. I did avoid them, and then I wrote the Dave Woody effect, the DWE, which is what I think the spread might be. What is Vegas going to put this game at? And then I wrote down the actual. I looked it up, and now it's finally time for me to look, and I can look on FanDuel and DraftKings and see what it is. And then, of course, I'm supposed to pick the ones that are the furthest away from what I had guessed, because obviously that's where I differ the most from Vegas and where I have the most conviction on the line.
It's an illustration type of practice here. It's illustrating that you are way far off from the handicappers in a way that you think, well, they're wrong and I'm right. And it's worked.
It's been very good. It's gotten us about what's the DWE gotten us 65% or something like that over time.
The damn Skippy.
Yeah.
Right around.
So, I'll take it. This week, I am deviating from it only on one. But the one game that was the furthest off, I'm not taking it. This is not a pick. I won't do it. Do you want me to hold that in case it's one of yours and we can talk about it after?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll hold it. So I'll just go into my first pick then. So
yes, here we go. I'm excited.
So here's first pick. I had written down, with the Rams being at home tomorrow night, I had written down Rams -1, figuring that, they're both obviously very good teams. I think Buffalo's a little bit better, but the Rams are at home. So, I figured that would be about what it is. It's actually Buffalo -2.5. So I'm on the wrong side of the line, and it's 3.5 total points. That's kind of a lot for me to be off, frankly. So by DWA, I have to make it a pick. It is a pick. Rams +2.5. I get -110 at home against the Bills. I know the Bills could beat them by a field goal. Hell, they could beat them by 20 points. I don't know. The Bills are ridiculous. Who knows, right? But the Rams are damn good too. It's easy to forget how good they are. And they really aren't missing much from that team that just won it all. This is a very, very good team. If you're worried about them maybe over the long haul, like maybe Akers' Achilles doesn't hold up. Maybe Matthew Stafford has more problems with his elbow. Maybe if Cooper Kupp has that much work over the middle field, you're worried about he gets too many hits, he gets hurt. Aaron Donald's a year older. Jalen Ramsey's a year older. It's easy, corners age so fast.
Not that guy.
None of that stuff.
None
of that stuff is stuff to worry about in week 1. They're all healthy right now. They're ready to go, dude. They're raring to go. This team. I know there's often the hangovers after the Super Bowl, and that could be. And Buffalo's really good, but I like this. I'm off by 3.5 points here. By my own standards, I have to take this, and I have to put it number 1.
This is incredible. Because
I love the Bills.
You do. It's incredible for multiple reasons. One, we actually thought we'll record next Wednesday so that we can, just in case we have a pick.
Yeah.
And not only that, but boom, right out of the gate, pick of the week.
Yeah.
The Woodman comes in. Yes, Thursday Night Football is a pick. And right out of the gate, boom, Hollywood comes in. Pick of the week. No.
Don't do it.
It's not the Rams. +2.5. It's the Bills -0.5 point first half line.
Ooh.
And let me tell you about this a little bit.
Okay.
Normal juice -110. Bills to be leading by at least 1 at the first half.
Okay.
One thing I liked about it is that the Bills are giving 2.5 all over the place, and all of a sudden you get the first half for 2 under that. Like basically it's just them in the lead, so you're already kind of making headway on that a teeny bit if you want to split hairs there.
You could call that, better just call that an arbitrage.
Well, there you go. Well, then arbitrage the shit out of it, okay? Because overall, I do like Buffalo to cover overall. I'm not necessarily going with it. I'm going with this. I'll tell you why I like this. Research swayed me from taking Bills -2.5. And I'm going to tell you that in a while, and it makes sense. So I'll tell you that in a little bit. I liked Buffalo because this is their fucking time. It is the Bills' time. This is their year. They've scratched and clawed. They finally have it all. Now it's no excuses time. It's their year. And I think that it would be really, I don't want to use the word embarrassing, but a little bit of a downtrodden feeling. I know you're on the road, Super Bowl champs you're facing off, first game of the year, national audience. But I think that even more, if they're the team I think they are, they're going to come out hot.
Yeah.
Come out hot. Not necessarily stay hot. I really like them in the first half leading when folks go back into halftime, make some adjustments. The Rams are defending champs. And to me, Woodman, like you're saying, I do that emotional side of things. I feel like, they're still celebrating a little bit. But they do have a lot of returning players. But they do, like you mentioned, it's funny, you hit on all my points. Akers banged up still a little bit. Playing banged up. Stafford just got cleared like this week. Still a little banged up. Probably will show up big time. I get it. But Whitworth retires. They didn't replace him, though. They didn't replace Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah,
so
that's big.
I think that the Bills are going to hit them hard quick. There's a promotion on DraftKings that for the Thursday night game, if a team gets up by 7, if either of the two teams get up by 7, whatever team you bet on, money line wise or whatnot, that they're just going to pay it out. And I wholeheartedly believe you should get a Buffalo for that because I think they score first. Here's the research that I mentioned. I went in. I have what page is it? It's one of these. I have every single score of every Thursday night football game that led off the season written down. Okay. Wow. This is the 21st year that this is happening. So 20 prior games we're talking about. The first point is that a lot of them are heavy scoring games. Like you think about, when the teams are coming off preseason, things are going to start slow. Yeah, it does for the defenses.
Yeah, I remember the Bucks and Cowboys last year was a huge
barn burner.
Yeah,
it was like 35-31 or something like that. But big time scoring games. The OU on here though, the over under on here is a little too rich for me. It's 51.5 right now. It's a lot of fucking points.
It's a lot of points.
And if any team does happen to struggle, then you're not hitting that. Sometimes it's like,
and let's point out. I mean, I'm not sure if like casual fans realize because it's so easy to focus on these offenses. These are two really good defenses.
Really good defenses.
I don't like that over at all.
So you don't like the over, even though they both have. No, I'm sorry. I was going to mention that they both do have holes that you can pinpoint, but not just constantly. So yeah, I'm the 51.5. I'm off. But let me tell you this: 20 games, right? 21 years now. This game is happening. The first 20 years that has happened. This is the stat that got me. I was looking. I was like, man. The home team has won 16 of 20 times. And very oftentimes that home team is the defending champs. And very often, not very often, I just know personally, at least from the Eagles, when they hosted the Falcons after that and had a rematch of the divisional game, that the Eagles started like dog shit.
Yes.
And then they won the game.
In the second half, they get their shit together. And I really think that Bills' first half minus a half point here is the way to go. I wholeheartedly expect them to have a lead going into halftime. If I was picking the whole game, I would probably still lean on them covering. But I'm not because I'm not comfortable with it. We have a man who is, and then you got me who's giving another direction if you want to rock that way. So how about that? Two initial games of the season, 2 picks on it. And we're going to see what we can do. Our number one.
How about that? So fun. Really, really fun.
What kind of juice you got on that? Minus 110?
Regular juice, minus 110. Yep.
Okay, great.
Yours as well, correct?
Same. Yep. My second one, I get a little plus for you. It's just a little over, but I wanted a little plus, something. I want to get something good for you. And I almost took, so by
Give it to me hard.
By DWE, again, I had one that really should have been my very first pick. It's not a pick. I won't do it. I refuse. I won't go against it either, but I won't pick it.
I'm so we'll get to it later. This is like a fade Woody.
Almost. I mean, I'll tell you guys what it was, and you all could do it or go against it or whatever you think. I'm actually like off. I was so off that I just don't. We'll explain later. But okay. But so for my first pick, I went with the Rams. I always have home dogs. Just proves to be very. Very fun for me, and I seem to have a knack for getting home dogs on this show. I've done really well with that.
Yeah, I'm on the show all the time. I'm your home dog. Luke, Russ, Joe.
But here's one where this is a total DWE pick. I just wrote down what the spreads were, and what I wrote down was. I figured Browns at Panthers. I figured Browns -1. Browns have, probably a little bit better defense, certainly the better offensive line, and some, enough skill players to keep it close enough. But basically, they're just better in the trenches. And then the Panthers just aren't good, So I figure, Browns probably, even though they're on the road, I thought maybe like -1-ish. And
put that game in Cleveland, you could probably expect a -4,
That's what I was thinking, just in my head, right? And so, assuming that Brissett just is good enough to keep the trains moving, right?
Mm-hmm. As long as Brissett is Jacoby Brissett, then yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always what he does.
But the actual line is Carolina -1.5. So again,
Mhm.
I'm wrong, and I'm wrong across on the wrong side there. So it has to be a pick, and this is number 2. But instead of that, which would be -110, I figure, well, shit, dude, it's only a 1.5.
Let's go.
Just give me that Browns money line. They can
Fucking
win this
right.
game easily.
I
They
want
just
winners.
control the trenches. And I see it's only 102 plus 102 on FanDuel. If you guys want to get on DraftKings, I got it at plus 106 just a moment ago.
Let's go, baby.
So plus 106, a little plus for you. It's not a big deal, but if Brian's betting big numbers on everything here. When you're betting big money, every couple points matters. And plus 106 is nice. And I think Carolina is really bad. Like, I wonder if at the end of the year we're going to look back at them and be like, yo, that was a horrible team.
Yeah, Matt Rule fired in week 8 or some shit. I could see it
definitely
happen.
see it, couldn't you?
Yep. I mean,
I just, this is more of a feel one. I just think maybe the Browns go in there, just take it.
big time. Well, we might rehash something about that in a little while.
I could also be talked into the under in that game.
Okay, good
Could be
call.
talked into it. But my pick is Browns money line plus 106.
Giddy up. Well, I'll tell you what. I think a lot of people have been talked into what I picked. I put a full unit on this last week, and thankfully I did because the line has moved, and now the line is 7 or 7.5, and that's fine. Probably cover it, but I'm just so comfortable where I got him. I got him at -6.5. That's the fucking Ravens at the Jets. The Jets, the shit ass Jets. I mean, this was so easily my pick. You know what's funny about this pick? Back in, what was it? Jump the Sharp episode 75, 15 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah.
When the schedule dropped.
I remember. I know exactly what you're going to say because I just saw it in my thing.
There you go. When the schedule dropped, what we do every year when the schedule drops is we pick our favorite game for week 1 then. And I picked...
Which is wild because you don't know. There hasn't even been a draft yet.
No,
right?
at that time, the draft was.
But
the
there's
draft
no,
happened.
But free agency and trades hadn't happened.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at the time, Zach Wilson would be starting and all that. Right now, it's still questionable.
It's it sounds like it's definitely going to be Flacco, I think.
Yeah. So, but my pick was Ravens on that show, and it was actually -4.5. So, wish I would have went ahead and pulled a big time trigger on it then. It's hard to put a unit on something 6 or 4 months out, but nevertheless,
I think I put like $50 on that because you convinced me.
Yeah, Ravens -6.5. I hope you find people out there have some existing stock right now.
Some people do. Some listeners definitely trailed you back then.
Giddy up, yeah.
Like I did.
So I got it at 6.5. It's now at 7 or 7.5, depending on where you find it. So unfortunately, I still want this at 6.5. I'm not worried about it really, but I still do want that hook. If you want to take the alt line, the best you can find is DK at -6.5. You get -130. I think it's worth paying that juice. So my official pick, when I got it, was -108, but now it's Ravens -130. Ravens -6.5. Let me give a little bit of a why. I mean, I don't think I need to, but I can't imagine how they're not winning by 10. So I'm really not really worried about that. The 7 or the 7.5 line. I think 7.5 is paying out even money. So if you're feeling frisky, giddy up.
Well, you talking to look something up here.
Okay, go for it. Flacco's fucking starting. Like, who the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Who knows him better? Who knows Joe Flacco better than John Harbaugh? Nobody. Absolutely. And there's probably still other staff that have been there when Flacco was there too. But you know what? Well, Hollywood, guess what? Well, Flacco was there. He knows the Ravens. No, I don't know dick. That was like 3-4 years ago. The Ravens are an entirely different team. They change up their personnel. They change up their schemes, their game plan, their playbook every year. Joe Flacco knows as much about the Ravens now as he did when he was playing in Delaware. Okay, so the Ravens know 100% of Joe Flacco, and they also know that he's decrepit now. But Flacco knows nothing about the Ravens. Oh, man. Even if Wilson's starting good, he sucks. This is a Lamar contract year. He's going to go off. At the very least, he's going to go off early this year. First 4 weeks, Ravens could easily be 4-0 just based on the way this guy's going to play. But here's why. Well, you know what? Let me take that back a little bit. Let me tell you why I really like this. Next 4 games after this. Okay, so I think they're not going to go 4-0 probably. They're starting against the Jets. Their next 4 games. Home against Miami, at the Patriots, home against Buffalo, home against the Bengals. I mean, yeah, they could they could seemingly win all those games, but those are way better teams than the Jets. and they don't want to lose this game, and they don't even want this to be fucking close. They don't want to have a doubt. So this John is -6.5 all day.
And if you wanted to take
-9.5
alternate spread -9.5, it's +105. I don't think that's really worth it. I'll probably just stick with Brian's pick here. But
I mean,
if people really want to make it plus, because
depending on your size of better. But yeah, I mean, if you just want to win, then maybe. If you want to guarantee some money, take the -130. If you really want to try and double up, then sure. But I'm not.
And what happens with those is the what's called a backdoor cover,
Totally.
where the Ravens are stepping on their neck the whole game, and then in the fourth quarter, they let the Jets get a couple of late TDs because
Ravens second team's in or some shit.
Backups and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Ravens -6.5 is official at -130.
It's a good pick.
Let's
Love
go.
it.
Let's go, baby.
Very
Feeling
solid.
good about this.
Yeah, that's super solid. That was the Ravens are my pick in my suicide.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot.
Okay. This one was painful. I feel great about it. I think by process and just by looking at the numbers, it's great. But this is a team that I'm going to bet against this week that I kind of just have a lot of affection for. I just like them.
How about that?
Kind of root for them, which is the Chiefs. So we're gonna take the Cardinals at +6. It just shouldn't be +6, dude. This is in Arizona. Kyler Murray starts off every year friggin' red hot. Every year this team comes out of the gate looking good, and then they fall the fuck apart in the second half of the year.
Are the handicappers saying that if this was in KC, this would be a -12?
No, they're saying it would be -9.
No, and the 9 would be at a neutral.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I guess they're saying if it was in Kansas City, it'd be -12.
Oh, man, that's weird.
And if you think the Cardinals are as bad as they were towards the end of last year when they lost all those games, and you think, as I do, that the Chiefs are a Super Bowl caliber team, fair enough. I don't think the Cardinals are that bad. That was a very depleted version of a team that was really beaten, and they were all in their own heads. And I don't know. I think they come into this year. They've got Hollywood Brown. I think that they
Ertz is questionable. He might,
they
but
might not have Ertz, but and actually he gave them a big shot in the arm when they got him at first. They kind of need him. They really need it. They really need a good tight end. That's a team that needs a good tight end.
That's the smartest thing of the night.
But Kyler has started the last several years looking like a freaking video game.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. And then it just falls apart. And I don't think anybody thinks that their defense is some kind of pushover. Now, I do think Mahomes will get some points here, obviously.
I think he's got a lot to prove. Murray.
He does. They both,
to his teammates.
Well, they both do. Mahomes, had by far the worst year of his career last year, and obviously it ended on a terrible note. He had the worst. He's never played so badly for a half as he did that second half against the Bengals. He looked like he was out of his depth. He looked like he didn't know how to adjust. He couldn't adjust. He couldn't play. He did not look like an NFL quarterback.
No, it was
against
weird.
the Bengals there.
But he did in the first half. It was very strange.
He looked great in the first half. Yeah. So anyway, and he looked like Superman the game before against the Bills, right?
Anyway.
So it's crazy. It's crazy. But what I say is, and look, and it's week 1, right? This is hard, right? But
yeah, this is
because anything's possible.
Week.
Anything's possible. But
I need that Kevin Garnett drop.
I wrote down Chiefs -2.5. And that's on the road. So I'm saying on a neutral field, 5.5, call it 6.
Mm-hmm.
That feels right to me. Feels right to me. This line is just wrong. KC -6 in Arizona in week 1 before Arizona's had their customary fading out.
Their shit end of the season.
Are you with me on this, or am I a little crazy here?
No, I'm not 1,000% with you on this. I'm not anti. This was back in the day when we did this, our first year doing a show, we had our stay away. Remember our stay away game?
Yeah.
This might as very well be it because it's just unreadable for me. If I lean
would
one
you
way,
have had it as KC -6, you think?
Oh man, I didn't
I
do
don't
it.
think
I
you
didn't.
would've.
No, I'd probably put it at 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
on the road like that. Yeah, definitely not more than 6. I can tell you that.
All I can say is, buddy, I got 2 home underdogs, and last year I did
They
really
paid
well.
off
Yeah.
big time. Yeah, I find myself, and we'll talk about a Hail Mary in a little bit, but even the Teasey, like I'm littering road favorites, and it's really not very comfortable of a thing to do, but I just can't help it. Like,
Yeah. In week
I got
1, it's okay because we still don't really know who should be the favorite and who should be the dog, right? This is
yeah.
all kind of made up, you know?
Totally. Yeah, I got the Bills, first half. I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to win and cover that line, but I would veer that way. But then the Ravens, I'm saying -6.5. This one, my third pick, actually is not having to do with a road favorite here. It's having to do with an over-under. And it's not the sexiest pick in the world because it is an under.
I like
Eagles at the
unders.
Lions under 49 point. Like we just talked about the Bills and the Rams that we're not very comfortable at 51.5. Well, guess what? 2.5 points off of that is the Detroit Lions involved in the game with the Philadelphia Eagles. I get it. Everyone thinks they're going to be boom pow. The Birds are not coming out on fire this year. We're Birds fans. Look, we got to Giddy up. We know. All right. Everybody is just bonerific over fucking Hurts and AJ Brown and all this shit. Well, I got news for you. They don't have a running game. They haven't had one since LaShawn McCoy left. People just need to calm down in the Philadelphia offense. It might be very good for the season over the course of the season. If you told me Jalen Hurts makes the Pro Bowl, I'd say, yeah, okay, I see that. AJ Brown's with them, sure. Okay.
It's a great offensive line.
It's a great offensive line. That's even more to be said. That's how shitty our running backs are. Great offensive line. We don't have a good run game.
No.
Don't expect this team hot out of the gate. Maybe a couple turnovers on Sunday by Jalen. But hopefully they're not pick sixes for the sake of the line. Under 49, paying regular juice, -110.
Yeah.
Chemistry takes time with new builds like this. And I know they got a coach that's really rah-rah shish kumbah, and I'm starting to dig him. I didn't like him at first. I didn't like him all last year. But I'm starting to dig Nick Sirianni a little bit more. But chemistry takes time, especially when you got a players coach like that. They don't always just go and play like a very well-oiled machine. Sometimes they go, oh, shit, we got a lot to learn. We actually had to be a little bit more on each other's ass, and I think that they're going to learn that. I don't think they're going to lose the game. Speaking of suicide pool picks, I actually picked the Birds because I don't really like their schedule very much, and I want to save all the other favorites that I love this week, and you'll hear about that in a couple segments from now, but I want to save them for later in the season. So I'll take the Birds now at the Lions for my suey pick, but I don't know. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't think many people really remember. But the quarterback for the Detroit Lions is Jared Goff. The reason why you don't remember. You just don't want to. I mean, come on. Like, what's he going to do? His best passing threat is a guy with a hyphen in his first name and then a Catholic Saint Brown or something. I don't know. It's not that they don't scare me offensively one bit. Oh, Swift is there. Yeah, okay. But the Eagles have always been pretty good against the run.
Yeah.
You got that big boy Jordan Davis there. It's going to have to make, DeAndre go to the right or left. Philly's D's improved this year. I just don't see 50 points being put up in this fucking ball game. I really don't. A part of me wanted to take the first half under, but then I was like, no, just the game. I think the Birds win this, but maybe a 21-7 game or something, 21-10. Like, I don't know. Just give me the under. I don't see 50 points. If I'm going to be worried about the Bills and Rams hitting 51.5, I can't imagine I'm going to be really worried about the Eagles and Lions getting a 50.
I'm very, very much in favor of this pick. That's exactly right. That's a great game to pick the under. I was looking for any over-unders. I wasn't quite sure.
I wasn't looking about the Eagles this week. I really wasn't.
Right.
But
now
I saw that. I was like,
clear one.
2.5 points away from the Bills Rams. Like, okay, what? No.
Yeah, no.
Right.
No.
And I thought that was high.
If the Eagles didn't have a good defense, I wouldn't agree with you.
Sure.
But
even then, I mean, golf and like it's just not enough.
Yeah. What's golf gonna do? Yeah, seriously.
So. But that's that. So our 3 picks of the week, Woodman. Well, before we do the wrap up. No, let me do the wrap up real quick. Okay. Rams plus 2.5. Browns money line, so fucking awesome. Plus 106. And Arizona getting 6 points.
Yep.
I got Bills first half minus the half point. So Bills will have the lead after the first half of Thursday Night Football. Ravens minus 6.5. Eagles, Lions under 49. Let's do the little cherry on the top here. Not necessarily a pick per se, but the biggest DWE discrepancy this week. I'm very curious.
Yeah, and it's not a game that's been mentioned at all. So I had written, and I guess
is it a primetime game by any chance?
Okay, it's on at 1:00 on Sunday.
Okay, so the answer to that would be
no.
Struggling.
A little laugh.
I wrote
Give
down.
it to me hard.
Damn it!
If you don't start talking, I'm just going to keep hitting.
I had written down Patriots -2.
I was way off.
And I was way off. Thank you, Jim. And I guess it's just I don't know exactly what happened, right? Maybe my brain was trying to be more like
nostalgic.
This is how Vegas thinks. Vegas thinks of Miami as bad and the Patriots as good. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened in my head, but then when I sat down, obviously that's 5.5 points, right? Because the actual line is Dolphins -3.5,
right?
And of course, I couldn't take it because the second I thought of it, I'm like, well, that's the one's furthest off. Maybe I should.
And you're a big, not Dolphins fan, but a Dolphins backer as far as Tua, like I am, and shit like that.
We've made a lot of money just betting that the Dolphins could cover a lot of big negative spreads that they've had.
Absolutely.
Over the years, we've had a lot of times we're on like Dolphins plus whatever.
Yep.
Because we just thought they could cover, and they did. They usually did, right? So I don't care about the team necessarily. I guess I like Tua, but I don't care about them. But I just, I have a soft spot because they've made me so much money on this friggin' show. But anyway, that's 5.5 points. That's way off, right? And I should take it, but I thought about it for 1 second. And I was like, I ain't taking that. Dolphins -3.5 sounds correct. Now that I think about it, I'm like, that's what it should be. So I could. It's one of those times where, I have the DWE, and I try to stick to it. But when it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to stick to it.
There you go. All right,
and I do that. I do that on this show. You guys should, if you're new, you'll see me do that more. Once in a while, I have to do that because this process, you still need to have the sanity check. Does it make sense what the process is telling me to do?
And once in a while, aka once every week, we have to pick who we know is going to find pay dirt. That is the Paydirt Prop on Jump the Sharp. And
I'm fucking excited about this one, bro.
If you don't mind, Wood, do you mind if I go ahead?
I want you to go.
Just came across something as I was going through some research and doing some stuff. I had a feeling about a particular gentleman, and it's probably not, against a team many people are going to bet against a lot this year. But nevertheless, the Raiders of Las Vegas are at the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going against, I'm taking the tight end on the Raiders, Darren Waller, to score a touchdown for multiple reasons. I thought about it, and I was like, this guy, they were talking about the hamstring. He's not going to play, and it had a lot to do with this contract dispute that they're going through. He got rid of an agent. His new agent said, just go play. We'll talk. We'll get the contract done. He got into camp. He looked good. He's going to play. He's 100% for Sunday, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, he's healthy. So the guy wants it. And what does he want? What is it? How about a new contract? And what do you do when you need a new contract? You go out and you fucking perform. Interesting. But the Chargers are like a Super Bowl favorite. Oh, everybody's Cinderella this year. Everybody loves it. A sexy pick. Why would you pick the tight end to go against maybe arguably one of the best teams in the league? How about the fact that the Chargers last year, with pretty much a relatively healthy defense, were the worst team in the league against tight ends for yardage, that is. Second to worst in touchdowns given up to tight ends. How about 13 touchdowns given up to tight ends in the 2021 campaign? I can't imagine that the Chargers, after they felt like, it's one of those things last year was a moral victory for them. I can't imagine that they're just going to be going into this season focusing on tight end coverage. So, especially when you have an arguable top 3 tight end, and when he's hot and when he wants it, pretty much sometimes unstoppable. So Darren Waller, my favorite part about this, plus 190 to score a touchdown. Plus 165 on FanDuel. You want the 190, go ahead and stretch that dollar. That's on DraftKings. Give me the 190 Darren Waller unit piece.
I'm laughing because I also have selected a tight end.
Let's go, baby.
Also for plus 190.
No way.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and for similar reasons.
Oh, good
The
for
team
you.
the team that he's playing, the Bears, they had the 31st, a secondary, the 31st ranked secondary in the league last year. And they really haven't improved it. In fact, it's probably even worse because they lost Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Which means like now it's like
right up the gut.
That much more time also, but like that much more time for the other QB. And I also was thinking about this too. I do think that Trey Lance will look for Kittle in this game. Debo too, probably. So Debo would have been an okay pick too. Ayuk and some of the other receivers, I feel like that'll take more time. Like he's got to get more probably used to, just this game speed and everything. I mean, I know he played a little bit last year, Lance, but not much.
Right.
I think you could see Kittle at plus 190 here getting Paydirt.
I like that a lot, man.
He also doesn't really line up in line that much. So he's one of these people like Kyle Pitts, who's, yes, he's a tight end by position. That's his title. But like, from where he lined up, I mean, like that's a receiver is what he is. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And this is the same thing you could say. I always say this about the stat is it's amazing, right? Last year, Cooper Kupp lined up in line like where a tight end would line up.
Yeah. Yep.
Way more. I think twice as often as a percentage of his snaps as Kyle Pitts.
Like
Really,
Pitts
like in
basically
fantasy,
a wideout last year.
fantasy, Pitts should really be a wide receiver, and Kupp should really be a tight end.
Absolutely.
Based on where they line up, and if by the way, if that's not the criteria, then why do we even have tight ends in fantasy? Like, what's the position then? If it has,
I have a feeling in a couple of years that's going to be addressed.
Yeah, like if it has nothing to do with where I'm lining up, then what is the criteria? What do we call it? How do we decide who's which one? They're just pass catchers. Anyway, that was a long way of saying I think Kittle gets in there. I really like this at plus 190.
I do too.
I think the Bears defense is going to be among the league's worst this year. It's really depleted. It was bad last year. It might be worse this year too.
I'll tell you what, ironically enough, it's 190. Your call is a FanDuel call. On DraftKings, it's plus 160. So like it's the same deal with Waller, just on I wish DraftKings would have both the plus 190s, but if you wanted to parlay both picks on a particular outlet, FanDuel will be your spot to go. Plus 668 if you wanted to parlay both Paydirt props. Not fucking shabby. Almost getting 7-1 for two banging tight ends.
Two of the best tight ends in the league, yeah.
So
pretty good
not bad. Dude, a great start to the year on the Paydirt prop. I'm feeling that for sure.
It's funny that we both went with tight ends on
at the same payout too.
And we went with and here's another thing. Not for nothing. We went with tight ends that aren't good teams.
Yeah, against shitty teams. I'm sorry. You're going against shitty teams.
I like Paydirt against. Don't get me wrong. I like Paydirt for a player who I just think is super talented on a bad team. Yeah. I like it because you always get a nice plus usually.
Yep.
But it's safer and better to just take a Paydirt from a good team.
Especially when you see two who very, very good chances of happening. Pay off 7-1 in a parlay, 190 each. Let's go.
Love it.
One thing I'm very excited about and very comfortable with is the fucking easy goddamn Teasey. It's time for Hollywood special segment. The easy Teasey. Okay, this fucker, I forget. I think it went 13-3 last year, 13-4.
It sounds right.
14-3, something like that. The year before, similar. I mean, this thing will pay. It's for those that don't know a teaser, you get to sway at 6 points. The line that is over underline, a regular spread line. You can sway at 6 points. Both of them have to hit. A push is a loss. So you want to normally kind of get it on a half point or something you're really comfortable with. And I've always said that my two favorite styles of teasing are to get a 13.5 down to a 6.5, or get a 6.5 down to, and this is a favorite, or get a 6.5 down to basically a money line pick.
Yes.
And that's where we're at here for both of them, the latter. Okay. 2 away teams. Once again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big away favorite. And you made me feel a little bit more comfortable. You said week 1, though. It kind of makes sense. It does. I don't anticipate it being like that. Teasey, yeah. Teasey's fun to do this because now you're just looking for winners. But the overall consensus, a road overwhelming favorite, normally isn't my shtick. But when you can tease that bitch down and do it in a style where you can bring 2 down to minus half points, basically just there to win, this is where we go. 1, you just mentioned on it. Let's keep going. San Francisco minus 6.5. Tease that motherfucker down to minus a half point. You now just need the Niners to beat the Bears, which gonna happen. All right?
For sure.
And then the best part about this tease is you'll hit that, and then you can sit on it. Have something to watch on Monday night because you're going to have the Russell Wilson-led Denver Broncos at minus 6.5. Tease that down also to minus a half point at the Seahawks. Wilson, the greatest player in Seattle Seahawk history, goes back to Seattle to start his first game ever not in a Seattle Seahawk uniform.
Amazing.
Do you think that one of the most clutch, talented performers of our generation is going to go back to a shit-ass team who lost not only Wilson, but, why does his name escape me? That linebacker, the fucking badass linebacker went to the Rams. Woody, what the hell? Why? Anyway, leaders in the locker room. They don't have any of them.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner. People are just sitting on their hands now. Pete Carroll, no thanks. You're not getting this group together right now. Do you think there's any chance in hell the Seahawks win that game? I get it. Ooh, the 12th man, not in fucking September.
As we talked about on our futures, team futures show, there's a decent chance they're the worst team in the NFL at the end of the year.
Very well could be.
Could be.
So the first ever teasy of the 2022 season. San Fran and Denver, both to minus a half point. Just win, baby. Just
A plus. Win, baby. What kind of odds do I get on this?
Teasy is at minus 134, which is where it normally is, around that minus 130 mark. But you pay to make, and man, do we rake in that Teasy?
I love it so much. This is awesome, dude. I'm putting a full unit on that.
Yeah, go with that one and run with it. Now, to round out week 1 episode of the 2022 season, it is time for maybe your favorite segment, the Hail Mary Parlay, where we like to try and have some fun and turn a little into a lot. The Woodman, you're really good at this. You are really good at this. So let's see how we start. And tell me a little bit about your process going into the first Hail Mary and how comfortable you are. Let's go.
We've made so much money over the years.
So much.
These things. But my process was I intentionally said to myself, I can only do 3. I want to do as few legs as possible because this is the week of the year where I know the least.
Yep.
So the fewer legs I can get, but still get a nice payout. For me, that was a priority.
Good call.
I said, all right, so if I can only do 3 legs, they all have to be plus, and one of them has to be like plus, like I'm not gonna say plus a huge number, but like plus kind of a lot. Like I need some juice, on one of them.
Big time.
So I'll go with the juicy one first, and again, it's a Hail Mary, right? So we have to, with the caveat that, do I really think that this thing that I'm about to say has a better than 50% chance of happening? Probably not, but it definitely has a realistic chance of happening. And if it does, I want this parlay.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I'll be kicking myself I didn't take it. Couldn't the Cardinals win this game?
Okay, yeah. I mean, you made that argument.
I made the argument. I don't need to talk about it much more, but it's plus 210, that leg, right?
Okay.
So that's my big one. And then I have the Rams, which I really think they could win, and I've already outlined that too. And then here's the one I haven't talked about yet.
What's the Rams juice?
Plus 114.
All right.
Money line. These are all money lines. And then the other one that neither of us has mentioned at all because it's 2 crummy teams is the Jags. The Jags are in Washington. The Commanders are, not a very good team. Last year, their defense really let them down when they needed them because their offense was struggling because they'd had so many injuries. And poor Taylor Heineke just isn't good enough to play in the NFL. And
Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck.
and Antonio Gibson wasn't able to be this bell cow awesome running back that they hoped. And so they tried to rely on their defense and they weren't there. They couldn't do it. And it was just a junk team that was garbage. And it was like every game was like painful to watch even. This is a bad team. And unfortunately, they really haven't improved much. I mean, I think Terry McLaurin's good. Carson Wentz is a goddamn lunatic who could have
He's fucking
he might have 5 turnovers.
Dude, has there ever been an athlete that has so encapsulated what you might think like not even like a leader of a cult, but a member of a cult would like if he escaped and then became an athlete? It's kind of what he feels like. People are all uncomfortable around him.
How much his own teammates seem to despise him.
They're uncomfortable by him, man.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something wrong with him, I think, for sure, upstairs.
But
anyway, that's plus 120. So if I put them all together on this is just 3 legs, right? When you do parlays and you do only 3 legs, there's only so much you can get. But actually, I put these together. I got plus 1359, which I really like for 3 games that I think could easily go my way. And again, 2 of them, they're playing good teams. Certainly, the Bills and Chiefs are very good. No question. But those are home. So I get the home advantage against the 2 tougher teams.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the one road one it's the Commanders. This is a garbage team.
So arguably almost plus 1,400 for a 3-legger. That's not fucking bad at all.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't either.
I kind of have a good feeling about it.
It's a Hail Mary for a reason. We always go in on them. And I can't wait to see. Now, the thing is, I want to see if what I do here, I might just add 2 of your legs to mine on a separate one and hope that hits because one of your legs I am using.
Oh.
And I went ahead and did. Normally, my Hail Marys get fucking funky. It'll be like a over/under receptions from this guy, a touchdown score, the kicker used his left leg.
Sometimes you like throw in like a college game or like a tennis.
Throw in like a college, yeah, right, yep. I'll be like, I like this to happen in the Eagles game. I like this guy, and then I like Djokovic to win the fucking 3M Open,
and Tiger to miss the cut.
And Tiger to miss the cut. There you go. Bank it. That's at plus 28,402. But this Hail Mary, I'm just sticking to money lines. Like you said, week 1, have some fun. Root for some underdogs here. My first one, I actually had 5. I dropped 1 off. I actually forget who that is in retrospect, but it wasn't one you mentioned. But my first one is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mm-hmm. You know that I actually, on our futures episode, they're one of my picks for my wild card picks. To not wild card in the playoffs, but our wild card format on the show to win the division at plus 750. Why the fuck not?
The Jag wagon.
Yeah, so the Jags to beat a just putrid, weird, odd Washington Commanders team, plus 115 individually on that. Stop me if I'm wrong here, Woodman. I think you might like this one. Cleveland Browns at plus 105. I got them. You said 106. That'll move the needle a teeny bit. Browns over the Panthers.
Love it.
I'm not I got a Brissett. It's bad taste in my mouth. Chubb, Hunt, all these guys on the offense. And one of the best defenses in football. I still don't think the Browns are going to make the playoffs. Or really, I would do anything totally special, but they're going to beat the Panthers.
If they do, it'll be because of the trenches. They have both the offensive and defensive lines to do it.
Right.
They're missing a lot of other stuff that you would like, especially at QB.
Yep. So you got Jags, you got the Browns. I'm ready for this. I loved your DWE. I got the Patriots at plus 150 at Miami just because that's a New England thing to do. You know what the Patriots don't do is lose to the Dolphins ever. Ever.
It's
unless
true.
That one crazy Kenyon Drake return, a couple years ago. But other than that, they do not lose to Miami. But it's just Belichick starting another season. People blew Mac Jones last year like crazy, and then he came down to earth. But I think Mac Jones could start out a little hot, and people are going to think, oh, my God, okay, Brady too again. Go for it. Do that. But just make sure you pay me while you do it. So New England plus 150. And then the last leg, and this hurts, boys. I mean, it's the fucking week 1. Go Birds. Drinking out of the Birds glass.
Oh, no.
Got this, John. You
doing Lions?
No. It's the Cowboys. Money line on Sunday night, plus 120 against the Buccaneers. You guys know, if you've been listening the last couple of weeks, where I'm out on the Bucs. Just way too many question marks to be totally focused, I think, at least out of the gate. I don't like the Bucs to even make the playoffs this year. That was my other wild card pick at plus 450. So
I don't hate that.
Jags, I should say, Browns, Patriots. And here's the thing about that. I like to formulate things, too, for something to look forward to. If those three hit, you have this beautiful, beautiful pick now that could pay out like crazy. This is plus 23-24. All right. And if those three hit, you go into Sunday Night Football, you got a $10 bet to win almost $240. It'd be fun to just, I'm not saying root on the Cowboys. That's never really fun, but just something to play with.
Well,
and that's why gambling's
you'd
beautiful.
have fun. You could have fun with it. So we've talked about this on the show previously, but again, we have a lot of new listeners. I'll just say, when you're in that position, you have several fun choices. You can hedge.
Right, so that's true. Yep.
Which is what Brian almost always.
Which I don't know what that means.
Brian almost always hedges. That's what he if he's sitting on.
Hedge. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the cash out. My bad. Yep.
No. You hedge. So like if you're sitting on a big parlay like that and it has one leg left to go, you don't cash it out. I should say what cash out means. So the sites will offer you something like, I don't know. It depends on
if you had 10 to win 240 or technically $233 on this, they would probably offer you like $110.
That's right. So a lot of times it winds up being like around half.
Yeah.
I'll give you roughly around like half, give or take, of the total winnings. If you just want to hit cash out and then you're out of the bet, you get your $110. But, obviously if the Cowboys were to win later that evening, you would be kicking yourself. Because
you know what? This is a great discussion you're having, because I would love to just do that, then cash out and just root against the Cowboys.
Yeah, actually, this is one time you would cash it out.
Yeah, I would. I fucking would. Absolutely right.
Anyway.
What an episode. NFL Week 1 is under our belts, my friend.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is super fun for us, getting back to the swing of it. And
that's so fun. So fun. And once again, if you did enjoy it, please, spread the word. Let people know. We were having a great time doing this. And if you guys, like what you see, hey, on YouTube, I don't know how many people are really watching. I haven't even really checked our page lately, but hit that like button, as they say. But on podcasts, spread the word.
Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram.
Thank you, Fife. Anything you guys can do to help us out, we'd appreciate it, because we're sure trying to help entertain you guys. But also, look, we're not. It doesn't phase us in a negative way when we try and say we want to make you money. We're not sitting here and being like, fuck, we don't give a shit. We're just trying to entertain. No, we want to make sure we make you money, too.
I don't even want to be I'm not even interested in I don't want to be compensated for entertaining you. I'm not an entertainer. This is not.
I don't know about that, because sometimes
give it to me hard.
Not alone.
Well, put me in front of a piano and then I become an entertainer. But
that's true.
Struggling.
But no, we're not asking for you to pay us money.
Absolutely not.
Right?
No.
We just want you guys to make money, and we enjoy making the show. So the little thing we ask in return is if you can hit subscribe on YouTube. It really would make a difference. We want to get I don't know if Brian explained. We can get a custom URL if we get to 100 subscribers. So it could be YouTube / .com/jump the sharp, I guess.
Yeah. So instead of all these, characters after, but that would be great. And if you're listening on podcasts, you haven't rated or reviewed us on iTunes, that would be fucking.
It does help the show. It helps people find it.
But like Fife said, just tell somebody about us. We appreciate it. But if we're making you money, especially, we just like to make money together. It's so fun doing this. We look forward to it every week, and there's just something about the football season, and everybody feels that you're listening to it for this reason. Our numbers have already bumped because it's football, and some of you motherfuckers haven't been here since what would it be, February? And guess what? Welcome back. Our arms are wide open. But you also missed out on a lot of money on baseball, hockey, basketball, the whole nine. But it's good to have you motherfuckers back here. But giddy up. Cheers to everybody for the 2022 campaign. We're looking to make out And Woodman, anything on the way out the door for week
No,
one?
just be in touch. Like hit us up on Twitter if you guys want to. Like we'd love feedback from fans that like interacting with y'all folks. And I guess check Twitter on Sunday morning. We might have some announcement.
Yeah. Speaking of Twitter, at Jump the Sharp, we got an announcement coming. If not within the next couple of days, definitely very soon. Cheers! I'm going to put this little thing of beam down the hatch. Hollywood, Woodman, peace the fuck out.